History for Fools, welcome back. Class, it's almost in session. We got Butch Escobar here,
Yo, what up?
the brains behind the whole operation. Felipe Esparza, the face of the operation, and the guy who does his homework the day of the show. What's happening, everybody? We're here. We're glad to be here. Last week, we were in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, if you are Portuguese, that's where your people are from.
From Rhode Island.
There was a lot of Portuguese people in the audience, and as soon as I changed my joke, and I said that homeless people look like Portuguese pirates instead of being just homeless, it got a bigger laugh.
It got a bigger
There were
laugh.
Portuguese there, and Portuguese were pirates.
Right. That's true. We did that.
Then I did the accent, como estás?
Yeah.
Being there.
Is
over, bro. Pampering like a motherfucker in Portuguese now.
is Portuguese Spanish with a twist, or is it almost a completely different language?
Well, there's Spain, and they speak Spanish.
Right.
Then there goes Portugal, who are right next door, and they speak Portuguese.
Right.
But they're like, they're the same people. Same people, but
Okay.
different language. People might disagree with that, but
It's basically
I met a
the same
lot
people.
of Spanish people that were closer to Portuguese people too.
Right.
But Portuguese also, they're colonizers. Wherever they speak their language, they were there.
Right.
Like, of course, New England and Brazil, most of South America.
That was a
Lisbon,
Did you know that Rhode Island had so many Portuguese people before we
Yes.
went there?
Because of a woman that used to work with Lisa, this woman named she's a very good friend with Dave Chappelle, and she pretty much helped a lot of people get on, bro. She pretty much got people on, like Matt Rife and those people. She knows a lot of young comics. Sarah Mello,
Okay.
they're from they're Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware that when we were there. I'm a little bit culturally, as far as East Coast goes, blind. So I just thought it was going to be a lot of white people up there, and then like Mexican people coming from nearby places.
Also,
But it was a
also I knew a comic that used to claim he was Portuguese from Tulare, and then he ended up being all Mexican. But
Really?
there's a lot of Portuguese in San Jose, California.
Yes, that's true.
And Tulare.
Yeah, I didn't know, growing up in San Jose, I didn't know that there was a little Portugal in San Jose, but my buddy moved there and he had an outdoor kitchen. And I was like, yo, this is dope, bro. How come they don't have this at every house? And he's like, they do in this neighborhood. And I'm like, that's rad. And then he told me that it was because it was considered Little Portugal for a while because that's where the Portuguese had settled in that area. So, because they cooked with a lot of fish, they didn't like the fish smell inside the house.
The first time I cock
That's right there. Holy shit.
the first time I cock blocked somebody, another comic for a girl for a Portuguese girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. He was talking to her, and then like I swooped in, I moved him out the way like this with my hand,
Right.
and I said, "You're gonna get nowhere with this guy. This guy's shy. He's gonna ask for your number right now. Then he'll ask you an hour later. He'll want to ask you to go out right now. He'll take 2 weeks. Me right now, I don't even have a car to get. I got here. Someone gave me a ride here.
I'm going to ruin your life on the
He
spot.
goes, I came with this guy. He's my ride home. But I like you.
Yeah.
And like, give me anyways, dog. She was Portuguese, and when we were there at that place, she took me walking around the area, and they had a bull ring, bro. They had a bull ring in Artesia. It's
We were talking. Yeah, that's right.
it's called
Dude, you could look it up, and it looks like a little mini Coliseum. It's fucking rad.
and it's like it's, you know what it is? Okay, you guys know tackle football, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's also flag football.
Okay.
That bullfighting is like it's basically flag football.
Of bullfighting.
Like they don't stab it because it's illegal in
yeah.
America. But what they do is they put a spike with
Right.
a fucking like a flag football Velcro,
Right.
and it sticks to the bull.
So where do they cover the bull in?
In Velcro, bro. Dude, don't laugh. I went
I
to
don't, it just like sounds adorable.
bro. I went to
This
a
bull covered in Velcro.
I went to a party once, and they had a non-violent piñata. They had Velcro for all these white kids.
Is that the one where you pull the string? Oh, God, dude. Yeah, I hate those.
Are you one of the people that ask yourself, "What is the world coming to?" Or should we still go back to the old ways of having a piñata with your uncle who's drunk on top of the roof, pulling the strings, while your other drunk uncle on
And
top
all
of
the
a tree?
kids move out of the way as the one kid swings. Someone
somebody
always gets
gets
hit in the face.
Those are the good old days, right?
Yeah. I'm caught in between because I remember a kid getting hit in the face one time. As a kid, he had to get stitches. And I was like, why are we still doing this? But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, fucking pussies.
You know, when I was a kid, you think I remember that something bad like that happening, but I guess you grow up thinking, well, it happened to me, so
So it should happen to you too.
it didn't happen to me, so
Right, all right,
I never thought about it again.
Right.
But if it happened to you, it could affect you. I'm like, what happened, bro? Somebody hit me with a broomstick. Really? Imagine explaining that to your. Imagine you're a white kid, bro, and you went to a Mexican birthday party, right? And you go home and you're having nightmares, bro.
Yeah.
Of a guy like you or me or a guy who looked like Leonard Velasquez.
Yeah.
Shout out to Leonard Velasquez from Visalia.
What up, Leonard?
This guy, if you guys don't know who this guy is, this guy's a straight up Chicano to the bone.
Straight up.
This
dog.
guy wears like he's old school, like white T-shirt with a white tank top under it and a dress shirt over it with socks that match the pants and a belt that matches the shoes, and his hair is still like Eric Estrada and John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
When I talk to a lot of people who speak Spanglish, you could hear, especially now, way less than when I was younger. You could hear people forcing it a little bit. It's his natural language, bro. I don't think he knows how to.
Ah, cabrón.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to like speak straight up. Like if you were like,
He was born here.
He was born here. I think he's originally from the Valley, but his home is the Valley, and he is the Valley. But yeah, dude, like
He was born here.
yeah, when he
Ah, cabrón.
yeah when he speaks Spanglish, you know that's like that's how he learned to talk, man. That's like
He one of those dudes
he's
that
old school, like my uncles.
he one of
Dog.
those dudes that whenever he speaks Spanish is to talk down on somebody or say the mayate, bro.
Yes, dude.
I mean, nothing against it, but I heard him say that in front of a black comic, bro. He said, "Who's that comedian you brought today?" Oh, it's that guy that pinche M T in front of a black security guard, dog. Don't get me started on women. Eh?
Oh, bro. Yeah, I've had to be like, yo.
Oh, you had an experience with him at the comedy show that was all women.
Yes, dude.
What did he say about the all women show? Ay, mijo, who's gonna go to that?
He leans in as it's like almost like a pearl clutch where he's like, it's nothing but women, mijo. Who's gonna go to that? And I was like, that's sold out. Because it happened like it was like, that was 2 weeks ago. It sold out. It sold completely out, dude.
So this guy, women should be cooking and working his social media.
Yeah. What's funny, bro, is like, he gets mad at female comics who are dirty, but then he'll have a dude on that's fucking as dirty or dirtier.
And not funny.
And not funny, don't give a fuck, bro. Like, dude, it's so funny, bro. It really is. He's the grandpa I never had.
Ah, cabrón.
Ah,
So
cabrón.
imagine you're a white kid going to a birthday party like this, and you gotta go home and tell your mom what happened. Well, first there was this like Iron Man, and we started beating on him.
I know.
Like repeatedly.
That's the other thing.
And it was a drunk.
It's effigy.
There was a drunk man on top of the roof with a rope pulling it, and then he fell, and everybody laughed. Then they gave us all more candy and bags.
Right.
Then when we were singing happy birthday, that uncle that fell off the roof had a cast, and with the other hand smashed my best friend's face in the cake, like he was trying to drown him with it.
Oh my God, bro.
And then what happened? Oh man, they gave us all beer.
They gave us beer, dude. Oh my God, dude. Traumatizing white people. I probably did that. I probably had a couple of those parties. I don't know.
I've been to those parties, bro, where there's always that one girl that you make out with her and they tell you she's your cousin, but you're like in denial.
Okay.
That girl told my cousin Nancy Wendy, and they were teasing me over and over. She's my cousin.
Yeah.
She's my cousin.
When I first started in junior high, I met this girl and we went to a party later and we made out. And that was it. I mean, that was it. It was a party. We made out. We were drunk, and then wandered off. 'Cause she was like, "You're in my math class." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Started talking, made out, and she's like, at some point, she's like, "I gotta go," and it was it.
Dude, you ever
2 years? I think it was like 4 years later. My grandmother died. She was at my grandmother's funeral. It was my cousin. It was like my second or third cousin.
What's up, fool?
Oh shit! I gotta go.
Back to a history class with Mr. Shaughnessy, the commie.
I gotta put my thermos back in my Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox.
When was the first time you ever had a Chinese history of food? Is Chinese food, the history of Chinese food in America. We don't know what they're serving in China. One day we'll have a Chinese guy here. He'll explain to us.
Right.
But right now, we're talking basics here, like the first egg roll, the first whatever. But just before we even get into it, we're just gonna talk about the first time we ever had Chinese food. Like me, When's the first time? Because you're from the Bay.
Yep.
So your choices are unlimited as far as Chinese food.
Oh, unlimited. Yeah.
Because there's Chinese food, besides having a big Chinese food in the Bay and San Francisco, and San Jose, and also having a big Chinatown in San Francisco, you guys also have the local Chinese guys in the corner.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a Chinese restaurant in every neighborhood in San Jose.
What was your favorite?
I can't remember. I think it was like Mandarin Boat or something like that, but it was in my neighborhood and it was down the street. And my favorite thing always was the pork fried rice.
That was my question. The favorite pork fried rice?
Pork fried rice to this day.
Magic?
Bro, if I have almost like no money, I'll go get a box of pork fried rice and eat that for lunch. Only problem is it doesn't go well in the fridge. After you only can have pork fried rice right then and there or fucking nothing.
My favorite was another big meat eater, was that red pork in a little box.
Yeah, it's the pork. Yeah, that shit's man. What is it called? Barbecue pork, right?
Is it? It's red.
Yeah, it's barbecue pork.
Oh my God, that was delicious, bro.
It's amazing.
I would get that with fried rice, and I didn't know anything about anything else about that. I didn't know about no noodles.
Right.
I don't know about anything. Chow mein.
Chow fun.
Barbecue pork. Barbecue pork.
Barbecue pork.
That was my favorite. It tastes like candy.
Yeah, look at that, dude. I think I'm gonna get Chinese food after this. Cause this whole doing this really fucked me up. I texted you like in the middle of the night the other night, and I was like, I'm fucking hungry from this, dude. This is killing me. And you were doing your own research, so were you feeling the same thing?
Yes, bro. Guess what I ate last night?
What'd you have?
Remember those cans I bought from that brand Unmeat, and it was the little jar that were Spam?
Yes.
I bought like 6 of them. Well, I opened one yesterday, and I cut it up like it was real pork.
Right.
And I put garlic powder on it, on the fake Spam. It was just delicious, like real Spam.
Oh my God.
Then I added onion powder, then pepper, then salt.
Oh.
Then I flipped it over, and guess what? Then I put a little scoop of butter because Bobby Flay says you put a little butter on everything, it tastes good. So I put a little butter,
yeah,
like Bobby
everything.
Flay, and then that British guy too. Yum.
Nice.
So I put a little bit of butter, and let that coast, right? Ta ta.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got the little rice I had, the little man-made microwavable rice, and I dumped it in there
How
afterwards.
was that? Because I always
It was good.
That rice did well.
I would give it 3 minutes, not one.
Okay.
So at 3 minutes, it turns into actually 2 minutes. At 3 minutes, it turns into sushi
Right.
rice. At 2 minutes, it turns into nice rice.
Okay.
At 3, sushi rice. At 4, you could add some milk and cinnamon, bro. You could have a fucking arroz con leche,
Oh wow.
like a rice pudding.
Really?
I'm just knowing because I know how fluffy it got after 3 minutes.
Right. Right.
So I got the Spam. I got the microwavable white rice. I throw that in there. Then I throw in the vegan egg in there, like the one you had in your egg sandwich.
That was good.
Then I sprinkle some onions, some fried rice, some soy sauce.
Yeah.
I put in 2 bowls for Lisa and I. Then I cut up seaweed. Cut up seaweed. I put it in a
Little strips of seaweed.
Yeah.
Nice.
a little taste,
Little umami in there.
Then some teriyaki,
Yeah.
and then sriracha on both. Boom.
Wow.
That was after eating the Chinese food. Cause I was trying to make fried rice, but
Right.
I didn't have no baby carrots. I didn't have no peas. I didn't have no onions. But any kind of fried rice, if you put some nice protein, it's delicious.
Yeah, I like to make Spam fried rice. It's one of my specialties at home.
Forget it.
Real easy.
It's salty and delicious, right?
Carrots, onions, peas, egg, some soy sauce, some butter. Oh man, and I really like to fuck up and burn the Spam so it's nice and crispy. It's like crispy on the outside, but that's Spam musubi right there, which also is amazing.
Yeah, I could make those in the. Actually, that's what I had. Except I have egg in it, and I chopped it up.
That vegan Spam you bought this weekend was really good. It actually wasn't bad at all. I love Spam. It's one of my favorite things.
I cooked it better than they did at that place for me because I did it for myself, so it was extra crispy. And I cooked it thinner.
You need to really crisp that up. It's got to be crisped up. They didn't take their time with it, but
When I was a kid, we went to Chinatown in downtown Los Angeles. It's right there where they shot that movie, Rush Hour 2.
Okay.
The one with the Chinese guys. And
Yeah.
right there, right outside, there was a family, and they used to do Chinese music, bro. But they were all Latino, and they used to play the xylophone.
Right.
It's weird, but they were
all Latino.
They played Chinese music, but they were all Latino, and they were playing right there in front of Chinatown. And my dad even bought a photo from them, bro. My dad was into that shit, just like me. He bought a photo to take home.
Yeah.
And they signed it. It was the whole band. And we had chop suey for the first time. I hated it.
You
Still
didn't
don't
like
like
it.
No.
You still don't like it.
I probably don't like it more because my mom tried to make it at home, and it was not good, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
Because my mom made it I would say, white people, Chinese food.
Right.
But, I never explained to if you like chop suey?
I love chop suey.
It has a lot of spices in there, right? That makes it taste
Right.
good. I guess my mom didn't have the spices, bro. She had soy sauce, and that was it.
I think the thing is that also and what we're gonna learn in this episode today is that I don't know if you learned this in your research, but I found that Chinese Americans are very proud of Americanized Chinese food. That's not to them.
More than the Mexican American are proud of Taco Bell.
So if me and you go to Chevy's, we're like this shit, right? But they don't look at it like that. They look at it as what I found, or at least the people that I watched, but that they were like, this is what we survived with. This is how we made it here in America. We had to Americanize this food for these people to like in order for us to survive. And because I didn't grow up, I was very good friends with a Chinese American. Shout out to Ian Kung. Still love you, bro. And he would tell me, man, this is all we would eat. This is all, because he would get up, I would bring home Chinese food, shove it in the fridge, and I wouldn't eat it because I was like, fuck, that shit is gross the next day. And he would eat it, and I go, you like this shit, dude? And he goes, yeah, dude. He goes, this is all I eat growing up. I'm all, but you're Chinese. And he's like, yes, we love this shit.
I didn't eat Chinese food more to I guess till I moved out of my mom's house,
Right.
and then I started eating more Chinese food because I remember when I was my friend. I have a friend named Darroy Lewinson. Shout out if you're listening. I doubt it, but you're the first motherfucker to have a heart attack for eating too much fucking Chinese duck. He was 26.
No
bro.
way. Well, I mean, that's
Since he was 18.
bro. That's like a very fatty animal, right?
So I was not living in my mom's house no more.
yeah.
So my friend, my friend Darroy, he will stay up late, smoking herb, as he called it.
Yeah.
Smoking that herb, and drinking his 40s, and then he'll look at me and go, "What's up, Batman? You want to go get some Chinese food or what?" And I did not know, bro. I thought, isn't it closed? And this kid already knew, bro. Like, man, I say kid because we were younger than Philip is now, and he took me to Wan Cock, bro, in downtown Los
fuck
Angeles.
outta here.
Yeah, it's still open.
Wan Cock?
Yeah, look it
Hell
up, Philip.
yeah.
Wan Cock, WONCKOK. They close at 4:30 in the morning. The best.
I gotta write this down because I was looking for that night I texted you. I don't know what's wrong with Google.
Right there, look. See that little door right there with
Yeah.
the visor? That's for dim sum only, and then the inside of the restaurant.
Is the inside open till 4 a.m?
Yeah, 4:30.
So I was trying to find a Chinese restaurant open in like it was like 2 a.m. when I texted you, or 1, and I couldn't. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Why can't I find a place? Like I can't. I'm looking. If you're from LA,
For hours.
put in the comments
The best Chinese food
best
ever.
Chinese food at 2 or 3 in the morning because I want to go eat there. I couldn't find anything, and I knew that I'm all, this is LA. There's got to be something open at 4 in the morning, and I live in fucking K-Town, basically.
There's Wan Cock, and then I go to the place where I go there on Christmas because it's always they have this place has Red Lobster. They have Red Lobster. They have lobster, and you could pick noodles or fried rice for like $19.99. It's called Hot Woo. Hot Woo, bro, and they're open till 4:30 in the morning also.
Okay.
And I think Wan Cock might be open 24 hours, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're open till 3 a.m. Wan Cock.
Wan Cock, and how about Hot Woo?
Hot Woo? Let's see.
3 a.m., bro. It's still good, right?
3
a.m.
Yeah, 3 a.m. I'm fine. I'm not doing anything at 4 a.m. So yeah.
Do me a favor if you're out there, if you go to Wan Cock and get the Mongolian chicken. Oh my God. That thing is like the best. I don't know where they get these flavors from. And you can see the pepper inside the sauce. It
Yeah.
is the best.
Really?
Also, they have lemon chicken.
Okay.
Lemon chicken there too.
Hot Woo closed at 1.
Yeah. So, man, I went there with that guy, Dalroy, and I never been there, bro. And he was ordering everything. He ordered duck. Me, I ordered what I know. I ordered fried rice, shrimp fried rice, and that red pork, barbecue pork.
Oh yeah, of course.
And, of course, pork egg rolls.
Right.
So that's the difference here in Los Angeles. You know.
Okay.
In Los Angeles, they didn't offer me no hot mustard.
Right.
That's a New York thing. That's New York Chinese food.
Right.
New York Chinese food. With that order, they would have gave me soy sauce, sriracha,
Yeah,
and
in the Bay
hot
we do
mustard.
that too because with New York and Bay Area are Cantonese.
New York is Hunan.
Oh, New York is Hunan. So
Yeah,
then
and we're Mandarin
Yeah,
in Los Angeles.
the Bay is. I mean, I think the
Shout
Bay
out,
has.
we learned that.
I think the Bay has Hunan cuisine too. Then, but I know that it's a big Cantonese place too. But we also have always got hot mustard with our stuff, and you got like a sweet and sour pack, hot
Yum,
mustard, and soy
yum.
sauce.
That's the kind of shit you want, huh?
Oh my god, I miss Chinese, dude. I'm fucking going, bro. I can't wait till class gets out because I'm getting fucking Chinese food. I'm not even fucking with you, bro.
That's what I was thinking right now. Because in the Bay before the pandemic, you could get it anywhere, huh? Anytime, huh?
I still have not yet found better Chinese food than I have in the Bay Area, outside of the Bay Area. Outside of like maybe China has it. Actually, no, because we're talking Chinese American food, and now that I know better, to me, and this is not a Bay Area thing because honestly, I don't even like fucking San Francisco, but Chinatown fucking Chinese food, No, I fucked up. My bad. Holy shit. How could I forget? New gold gold medal noodle in Oakland. Open till 4 in the fucking morning. Shout out to the little gay fucking Vietnamese dude who fucking will fucking slap you across the face.
Please don't close like everyone else.
No, bro, no, they won't. They made it through the pandemic, dude.
Support them.
Bro, you sit down in this place at 2 in the morning. He come over, he goes, "What you want?" And you go, "Let me have this, let me have that." He goes, "Okay." And then you go, "Can I get water?" And they bring you little Dixie cups of water. And then and they just fucking it's really cheap, early morning, delicious, bomb-ass Chinese food. New gold medal.
Shout out to Whittier, California. If you're vegan or you're not, they have a meat section. That's Bombay. And they have probably the best beef, Mongolian beef in that area. And probably they could give one cock a run for their money. But as far as chicken goes, Mongolian chicken, you gotta go to one cock. But beef, Mongolian beef, and vegan Pots and Woks in Whittier. Pots and Woks, they have bro.
God, bro!
They give you double portion. Look at the number, the combo plate. Show a combo plate.
Okay.
Look
go back, go back. That's fucking looks. I like the chow mein where it's yellow like that.
It's delicious.
Yeah, yellow noodles. I think those are egg, but they're so good. I love noodles. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but like, I could.
You like slurping, huh?
Oh, I could sit with fucking noodles all day long, bro. I love Japanese noodles, Chinese noodles, fucking Italian noodles. Don't give a fuck.
You know the top 10 Chinese foods that people love in America? And it's by Americans, right? Don't be like saying, "Well, that's not true." Isn't that what Chinese like? This is what Americans like everybody else. Me, him, you have to ask everybody questions.
Yeah, sure.
Number 1 is crab rangoon.
Oh.
I will put that number in my list, dead last, bro.
Dead last. You don't like crab rangoon?
Yeah, but there's other stuff that are way better than that.
Okay.
But I'll put a number 1 appetizer.
I would say I do like crab rangoon. Yeah, I would put it not last because I don't like it. Just because there's so many things that go in front of it.
Yeah, General Tso's chicken is number 2.
Number 2 is your General Tso's chicken. Okay.
No, that's number 2 on the top 10 list.
Oh, on the top 10. Okay.
Yeah, it's General Tso's chicken. Who, by the way, there is no such thing as General Tso.
Right, I did.
It's after the Emperor.
No, there is
Tso.
a General Tso.
General Tso was in China, but he had nothing. He was never alive to taste the chicken.
He died 70 years before the chicken was made.
It was made for an admiral.
So the guy worked for. So here's the story with General Tso's chicken. So he was a successful military general who ran a lot of campaigns in Hunan, and this guy cooked for the government, who fled the Chinese government during the revolution, made up this dish
in Taiwan.
And this guy from New York, I looked this up, bro, and I'm not. So this name is not making fun of anybody, and please don't. But this guy from New York, this chef, and I think he was trolling people with his name, but his name was Something Wong. He fucking he had this dish at the guy who made General Tso's chicken, the guy who invented it. He had it there and came back to New York, and what it was on the bone and covered in sauce, but it wasn't sweet. And he knew that Americans liked fried shit. So this guy, Something Wong, came back, chopped it up, put it in batter, fried it, and then made his sauce a little sweeter, a little thicker with cornstarch, and then drizzled it over it. And then that became the staple. That became a favorite dish in 1973. I think it said in 1977, the original chef comes to New York, starts his own restaurant. People are ordering it, not getting it what they expected. He finds out that this guy robbed his fucking dish, but because people love it so much, he's forced to change it. And that's General Tso's chicken.
And it's like people love it, huh?
Love it. Love it to this day. I mean, it's number 2.
And also number 3 is wonton soup.
Really? I love wonton soup. I would say that's definitely in my top 5.
Wonton soup must be a very Cantonese and Hunan thing because I know I've seen it at Hot Wool, but that's Mandarin, but I didn't see it a lot. Bro.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
egg foo young.
What's number 4?
Number 4 is sweet and sour chicken.
Sweet and sour chicken.
You know when sweet and sour chicken came around and all these orange chickens,
Uh.
when all these fast food restaurants were opening up in America, they were giving Chinese food a run for their money. So Chinese food, they're saying that Chinese food, no matter what, they're the king of making something delicious real cheap.
Right. Do you know who the inventor of orange chicken was?
Donald Trump.
No, it's a guy named Andy Cowell, who was a
Chingao.
Andy Cowell, who was a chef at Panda Express.
Shut up.
And Panda Express
Bro,
is a Chinese American owned company.
let me tell you, but I've had orange chicken before I even heard of Panda Express.
Right.
You, Philip?
Yeah. Way before Panda Express.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Andy, but I mean,
he
Panda
stole
Express
it.
has been around for fucking ever.
But I've had
It's
orange
just that
chicken.
Panda Express wasn't popular for a long time, but it's been around for a long.
The 80s.
But how about the Chinese restaurant we mentioned that have orange chicken already?
Look up when Panda Express started.
It started in the 80s in Glendale.
Okay, and then look up who invented
Glendale,
orange.
wow.
Just to confirm, because I saw this in the video. So just to confirm, look up who invented orange chicken.
Over the line.
Andy Cow, yeah, from Panda Express.
Yes.
Yeah,
they must
dude.
have, you know what? They must have stolen his idea or somebody, if someone, it was always around probably.
Well, so I think he stole it from lemon chicken, which lemon chicken was invented in Rhode Island. I think Rhode Island. Either Minnesota or Rhode Island, if you want to look that up. But I think it was Rhode Island because we just got back from Rhode Island. And one of the videos I was watching was talking about how there was a huge Chinese population that settled in Rhode Island. And some of the first amalgamations of Chinese food were in Rhode Island.
You know where the oldest Chinese restaurant is?
Where?
Montana.
Get the fuck out of
Still
here.
open. In Bellevue or something, Montana. Or Minnesota. Look it up, Philip.
So can I give you a factoid about Chinese restaurants and why they are in every fucking town that you ever go to in the United States?
Because of massage policy.
So there was the Chinese Exclusionary Act,
1860.
1882.
1882.
And just
Lasted 60 years.
so let me ask you if this is familiar. America's very paranoid after the railroads have done all blah blah. All these Chinese guys are sitting around doing all the labor very cheaply. So we go, let's get rid of all the Chinese people. And we come up with the Chinese Exclusionary Act of 1882, banning them from doing all sorts of work except for things like laundry and restaurants, basically women's work.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to fast forward a little bit
So
because...
they opened up a shitload of restaurant this time.
Right. But what happens is that the only way you could become a citizen of the United States or live in the United States if you're Chinese is if you own a restaurant or you work for one of these people that owns a restaurant. At the same time, there's organizations that are trying to get Chinese people here. So what they're doing is they almost have kits where, well, first of all, in order to own a Chinese restaurant, it has to be very nice and well decorated. It has to be a Class A restaurant. So that's why you see all of them decorated really well and look kind of fancy or gaudy. But these organizations would basically have kits, and they figured out per capita how far away they needed to put the next Chinese restaurant in order to attract the right amount of people. Basically like a cell tower. So Chinese restaurants were like a franchise to these organizations. Come in, we give you this kit, you go out to Montana, you go out to fucking Idaho, you go out to this place, and you start a Chinese restaurant. And so that's like basically why they're like in every town. And there's a whole different reason to the boom, but I'm just giving you the reason why they're in every tiny town.
Number 5 is fried rice.
Fried rice, that makes sense.
Number 6 is orange chicken.
Orange chicken.
Number 7, egg roll.
Egg roll.
Egg roll, bro.
Egg roll.
There's a lot of people who claim that one, though.
You were looking up egg rolls versus spring rolls?
Yeah, the egg roll doesn't exist in China because it's called a spring roll, and it got to America, they fry it because everybody likes
We
fried
love
food.
fried shit.
Number 8 is pot stickers. Number 9 is chow mein.
That would be your number one for me.
Number 10, I forget what 10 was for, but 9. 9 for my heart again. 6. I forgot what 10 was, dude, but it doesn't matter.
What's your number one?
Me? Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I used to be big on broccoli beef, too.
Okay.
Anything with garlic, bro. Like garlic.
Fuck yeah.
Garlic beef. Yeah, garlic beef.
Right.
Thai food is different, right?
Totally.
Totally.
You asked me to research the reasons why, like, because you wanted me to do the research on why these foods had changed, why they weren't the original version, or what the reasons were behind. And when I started to look up, because I started with General Tso's, I think then went to chow mein. But what I had found was that, like, it wasn't necessarily Americans that changed Chinese food when it first came here. It was the Chinese themselves, because it was men who didn't know how to cook. A part of it, a percentage of it, was men who didn't know how to cook, who started making their own recipes. And then another part of it was people who did know how to cook, but didn't have the same ingredients to work with as they did in China. So like beef broccoli wasn't beef broccoli here. It was like a type of broccoli it was Chinese. We call it Chinese broccoli. They call it something different, but it's almost a different plant that resembles broccoli.
The Chinese broccoli and regular broccoli is totally different, bro.
Totally different. And so that's what they would. So it wasn't necessarily us that changed it. I mean, when it started to go big time and become popular, it changed for our taste. But Chinese food in America, that's why I also found out why Chinese people are proud of it, is because it was their survival food. So like that was really interesting to me too. Bro, doing this too also made me realize how fucked up and racist this country was.
Yes, man. When America, when we were America, United States of America, which was back then it was not called United States of America, they were called the Congressional something, the United Congressional States or something like that.
Yeah.
7 years or 8 years into the creation of the United States, I think 1785 or 1787, there was a boat called the Empress,
Yes.
and a bunch of American businessmen went on a long voyage to China for the first time, and that ship was wanting to do trading with Chinese, because they had a bunch of ginseng that they grew in America. Imagine that, 1787 or 1785, a shitload of ginseng, bro. They wanted to go trade to China. So I think it took almost like 9 months to get there. So they would stop in islands, and then they would trade with people there,
Right.
and they would trade with pigs there along the way, and then buy goats just to feed everybody on that boat. And then then the people, they would stop at an island, and they would plant trees in that
Okay.
island for later on.
Yeah.
They could be fruits, and they could pick them, like pineapples. I don't know what it was. And the language back then, when you were trading with China, it was a mixture of English, Spanish, I think Portuguese, and it was called pig language.
Pig language.
Yeah, pig language, and it was a made up language, because you know how white people are. They gonna learn the real language, so nobody really bothered to learn Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to make up this language where everybody could understand it and communicate, which was kind of like when I have that bit about when white people don't know a Spanish word, they just add an O at the end of it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
your son hasn't done your homework, to son hasn't done all his homework.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was a lot of that, but with Chinese food.
Right.
So they'll be like for example, they will make up a word for like it's yummy, or one food, chummy. you know,
Right.
whatever.
Japanese do that too. They go changey when they give you your change.
Yes.
They go, changey.
But it's a language that the Dutch and the people who dealt with China knew how to speak. So when the first ship from the Empress gets to China, they met these people right there. The first Chinaman, they call them Chinamen. The first Chinese they met, they traded for milk, you know, along the way,
Right.
you know, because they were all starving. And then once they never really make it to the main China, because see, the Chinese people didn't really know who the United States of America was. So the boat had a British guy to explain to them,
yeah.
hey, this is the guy that kicked their ass.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they probably could kick your ass if we help them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like a translator, and he explained. So it took them like almost, once they got there, it took them even more months to get even further, because they were it's all about etiquette and gentlemen.
Right.
They were testing them to see how cool they are.
Right.
Are they gentlemen? Because the Chinese considered Americans back then barbarians.
Right.
Because they're new, bro. They just came in and conquered another
I mean,
country.
even the English they thought were monsters. They weren't even allowed to go into like most of China.
Yeah, they didn't. Most of the British didn't get into China, which is why they have that's why Hong Kong, you know, used to belong to the British.
Right.
They didn't really get in there, bro, till they started the Opium War, which is back in the day.
But did you read anything about the Opium Wars?
Yeah,
It's fucked up, dude.
it's fucked up.
It was basically like we forced them to be addicts.
Yeah. Then they brought that shit to America, bro, where the fucking dens forced Americans to be addicts.
Isn't it weird? First of all, because I started reading about this.
We're talking about the Opium Wars,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And it mentioned, because what we're talking about, Chinese food, is a precursor by the Opium Wars, and so I was like, well, I better learn about the Opium Wars, and I watched a couple of documentaries. China was a superpower.
Superpower.
Like the
emperor, right?
Nobody
Yeah.
could fuck with them. Like British, America hadn't started yet, and
it
silver.
was the Qing dynasty, right?
Yes, silver was the most valuable thing. It was more valuable than gold, and China had the purest silver. And they were trading. They would only take in silver. All they would do is take in silver, and they had the number one export. What they ruled is because they ruled with tea. They owned tea, and
That was another tea war.
right. And the British. Well, you know that I looked
There was
up
a spice war and
the
a tea war,
Boston
right?
Tea Party. You know where that tea came from?
From where?
China.
They're not going to know it came from China,
Yes.
bro. But through the British Indian Company, right?
Yes. I also have another mind blowing thing for you.
Imagine, bro, to come from China, from British or here, they pretty much were dumping thousands of $100,000 in that fucking ocean.
Dude, tons. Okay. So
But they dress up like natives to fool them.
So what nobody else knows, and what you're about to find out, as we're sitting here worried about Chinese investing right now, there would be no fucking railroads, no factories, no steel mills if it weren't for Chinese money. There was Chinese investors that were putting money into America at the time, and I have the guy's name somewhere written in here, but yeah, like they were selling tea, we wanted tea, and they wanted silver. We didn't want it. We were running out of silver. We were like not wanting to give up our silver. So we are like, how the fuck are we gonna get these guys to fold and just give us tea? And we realized that they loved opium. So we started flooding.
British,
We started flooding.
The British, right?
No, the Chinese.
No, the British flood opium to China.
At first, the British did, and then because we were still getting money from the Chinese. But then once the money stopped, we were like, fuck it, we're gonna go in on it too. And then we started flooding it with opium.
So it's opium dens, huh?
Right, and this isn't like fentanyl or crack, where it's just like poor people. Like we're talking like fucking all the way from the cops to Congress.
And they
to
love getting
rich
high,
people.
huh?
They love smoking opium, and it started fucking with the country. So the emperor was like, "Fuck that! No one's doing fucking opium anymore." And they rounded up everybody who did opium, and if you didn't give up your opium, you were put to death. Then they took the opium back from the British. And then because the British were trading hard with it, and that's the Indian Trading Company. These two guys who were
Brutal
like
company,
brothers,
huh?
and we're just gonna brief through this. If you guys want an Opium Wars History for Fools, we'll do that. But I just want to brief through this really quick so we understand what's happening here. So at the
cowboy,
time,
bro.
so at the beginning of this conversation, the Chinese was the most powerful military, powerful everything. What's happening at the same time is that British are fighting the Napoleonic Wars, so their weapons are becoming better and better and better. So as we're coming to the point of where Chinese get rid of all the opium, they take the opium from the British, dump it into the ocean. Dude, British is like, okay, well, cool, you could dump our opium and we won't deal you guys opium anymore, but you owe us money for all the opium you dumped. China was like, fuck you. British was like, haha, no, fuck you. And then they came in and China was like, we have the largest army. There's nothing they could do. British was like, we have the biggest gunships. There's nothing you could do. And they fucked up China, bro. They fucked up China. They forced China to buy opium. They forced China to take back opium. They forced China to give up Taiwan. And this is when you start
And
to
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. And this is when you start to see
Taiwan too, probably.
Taiwan too. Well, Taiwan, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you look up what's that walled city? What's the name? Look up walled city in China. Kowloon Bay, I think it's what it's called, or not Kowloon Bay.
Kowloon Walled City.
Kowloon walled city. So when the British left, there's this little area that we're talking about that was not claimed by anybody. So this place of homeless people started their own country. And they started building these buildings on top of each other. And go back to the walled city, because that's not it.
Oh.
Go back to Kowloon walled city.
Kind of the Palestinians.
Show a picture of this walled city. And this thing, I think it survived all the way to the mid-90s before we tore it down. No, that's not it. It looks like a huge ghetto. Look up, like, walled...
This is how it looks now, but I don't have pictures from before.
Yeah, that. Go to one of those pictures, the one in the middle right there.
Little
Any of
Chinese
those.
favelas.
See those, bro? That's just people building their own houses on top of each other. And this is like a area of...
It's still there?
no, it got torn down.
In 1990, probably, huh?
When is it? Can you look up when it got torn down? I'm sorry, Philip. Philip, give it, everybody, just so you know, Philip is the real backbone of this. He's
Well, it's in 94.
94.
Oh,
Okay.
It's survived 100 years.
Philip, look up a movie, Chungking Express, and find out if that movie was shot in that area. Because this guy has an apartment building,
Uh-huh.
was just,
Oh, no. Never mind. Keep going.
yeah, Chungking Express, and it looks like he lives in the area like that.
Oh, really?
Because it's like one elevator, and he has one room only, bro, and then people run on top of him.
This is really another place, and I know we're getting off the subject a little bit here, but that's another place I'd like to do a History for Fools on, because it was not very big, bro. It wasn't as big as... It's probably the size of LAX, and maybe smaller.
So we'll do that one, and we'll do favelas in Brazil.
Yes.
History for Fools. Let's get back here real fast.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. We'll get back to what you were talking about.
Sorry,
It's
yeah.
interesting, very interesting, man. But there's also in America there was a back in the days when Fidel Castro took over Cuba. A lot of Chinese immigrants left Cuba that were living there. A lot of Chinese Cubans.
Yeah, you were telling me
'Cause you
this
know-
when I came in today.
And then there was always Chinese food there. Some of them left Cuba to start Chinese restaurants. And one of the oldest Chinese Cuban restaurants in New York is called La Caridad 78,
Wow.
which is pretty much it means.
That guy's Chinese and he speaks Spanish.
Yeah, that guy's name is Antonio Wong.
That's
He was
crazy.
born in 1951, bro, and he lives right now in New York. He's Cuban Chinese. And the place has a mixture of Chinese food.
That's interesting. And that's the one thing that I read as well was like one of the reasons for Chinese food's popularity was that like when the what was that called? What were we talking about? The chop suey houses first came along. The reason why they were so popularized was because artists who were poor, black people and women were allowed to eat at those places at night. without being bothered because Chinese people didn't give a fuck if you were black or if you were a woman by yourself or whatever. So Chinese places were really popular for
Also,
countercultures.
Chinese restaurants, they were not allowed to open up like in like the suburbs or where white people live.
Right.
Also, they were giving loans. They were giving loans to open up in the hood,
Yeah.
like in downtown, like
Right.
in the
Right.
most seediest area in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because you're never like back in the 19 like also, if you want to go back, man, like Chinatown and Chinatown has always been next to Little Italy, no matter where you go in America.
Right.
Like I know in you're probably thinking here in Los Angeles,
San
you know,
Francisco, same thing.
you're probably thinking here in Los Angeles, California, we don't have a Little Italy. You know, as a matter of fact, we did have a Little Italy.
Really.
And it was over there. There used to be a little Italy by Dodger Stadium, and one of the restaurants is still there. It's an Italian sandwich place, and they used to,
Eastside Deli.
Eastside Deli, Italian owned, still there, and there used to be a place called the Green Turtle back in the days, and that place shut down. But there used to be more stuff. But what happened was when Mussolini joined Hitler, there was a big Italian backlash, and they shut them all down in Los Angeles.
Did we go over that during the Mexican cinema? I think we talked about it because that was part of the why. Because there was like something to do with Mussolini and the movie maker. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject, but yeah. But dude, yeah, holy shit.
Also, man, have you ever noticed that font? Like if you go to any Chinese restaurant, you know, or a Chinese movie, when it's translated into America, and you see those letters right there.
Yes.
You see that right there? That font is called the Chop Suey font.
Yes.
And it was also made here in America by a white guy. And it's every time you see that, it's acceptable now. But when you go to a Chinese restaurant or you go to the little box where the Chinese food is, that's where it first came out. But it was and then it was to make it easy for Americans to know what the hell it is.
Right. If you show that to a Chinese person, they don't even fucking understand what the
Yeah,
fuck it
you go
looks
to a
like.
Chinese guy, they get confused because only two parts of the letter make sense.
Right.
The rest doesn't.
Yeah, because it strikes. It's how I watched a little video on how Chinese characters are represented to Chinese people, and so it's certain strikes, and they only use two of the strikes in those in that font, and so they're like, what the fuck does this even say?
Look up what's Hanzi again, Hanzi. I forgot what that meant, but I wrote it down.
CI? Yeah.
Hanzi.
That's a Chinese character. You said that.
Yeah, the Chinese character is called Hanzi.
Hanzi. Okay.
Yeah, so this type of, that's Hanzi right there, right?
Okay.
And then what they do is they take away a little bit part of that. That they take away the little corner, which means life,
Right.
and the other one, and they make the letters out of that, which doesn't make any sense for a non-English reader.
Right. They only took yeah, that's crazy.
So and then that was made for that, and show the African one, because they made it for everybody, bro. They made it for Africa. So if you watch any African movie, it's always gonna be that font to let you know that's Africa. And they have one also for Greek restaurants. They have one for Mexican restaurant, and the one
Right.
for Mexican restaurant, usually the one for Que Rico.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, look, there's the African font. It's got like a little stripe.
There's little
to it.
Zumba one.
I
You
mean,
saw
look up Lion King. Just look up the Lion King title for the play. Just look up Lion King title
There it
for
is.
the play. That's it. That's the font for Lion King.
And it was made here in America.
Yeah.
And also look up the Greek one.
Yeah, there's the Greek.
They call it Greek font. It doesn't even make sense. Not even a Greek
Right.
font. It has nothing to do with Greek letters.
And you can look up Russian fonts, the same
So
thing.
the guy calls it a typography, which is kind of like stereotype.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like like if you want to be really woke, you could just try to cancel Chop Suey font,
Right.
because writing the letters like that is like saying, it's like trying to do a Chinese accent to make fun of them.
Right. Yeah, it's very weird because I
It's
did.
weird, right? Where do you draw the line?
I did and again, you got to ask Chinese people, and I found that Chinese people were like, "Yeah, it's fucked up that happened, but we're proud of it because it's how we survive."
We're out here now.
It's weird, bro, because I think we look at things differently because we're Mexican, and we go, "Wouldn't you be offended by that?" Because when someone fucks up, Americanizes Mexican food or does that, it's different because Mexican food here in America should taste just like Mexican food in Mexico because we're right next door to each other. But Chinese food, you know, the way the Chinese look at it is like, this is what we survived on. We came all the way the fuck over here. We couldn't go back and learn anything. We had to remake all this stuff. And so, I don't know. I wonder what Chinese people feel about, like, chop suey font.
Yeah, man. You know who the first president to go to China? Was Richard Nixon.
Right.
During his second run for election, he went to go visit China, and one of the CIA or somebody from press secretary asked him what's his favorite Chinese food.
Okay.
They wanted to know.
Right.
And it was like a trick question too.
Yeah.
And then he said all of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay, but that sounds like Donald Trump.
But Richard Nixon's favorite food, you know what it really was? Cottage cheese. He didn't want to look fat on camera, so he would just eat cottage cheese. And if he wants to, he'll add a little bit of pineapple.
So he didn't eat any Chinese food?
No, never, bro. He just eat cottage cheese. He was worried about his weight those 4 years.
That's crazy,
so,
yeah.
When they flew to China, everybody was practicing chopsticks on the plane. And they brought a shitload of steaks.
Yeah. Wow.
Peanut butter and jelly, bro, bread.
Yeah.
They brought sodas.
Yeah.
And they brought chocolate, bro, and everything that the president likes to eat. Also milk, ice cream to make them milkshakes.
Oh, man.
And so
what a life.
The first time, like going back to 1785 or 1787, when America went with the Empress to try to sell their ginseng, they were being fed with chopsticks for the first time.
Right.
And the Americans were grossed out, bro. They were grossed out because the guy was feeding them with chopsticks.
Yeah.
And then they were eating out their mouth and giving them with chopsticks.
Ah, okay, yeah, because
they're not used to that. You know, they're not used to feeding other people.
Right.
So that's just a culture thing, you know.
Right,
they were grossed out by that. But when they got to meet one of the main guys from China, he said, "You guys are very, very gentle-like and courteous." There was a pause, but you guys are all like that. You start off being real cool, then you start pushing people around, and they were, bro. Like after a while, like being there, the British will get mad that they couldn't go all the way in to trade with the bigger shots.
Right.
That they'll start pushing coolies around, and everybody's watching, bro.
Right.
It was about how you presenting yourself to the Emperor of China, bro, because word got around fast. So it took America at least more trips to actually get in and do actual real trading.
Right.
But in the beginning, when they got there, they were eating they ate like, fuck, bro, like ducks, turtles. When they got to this area, they were talking about this bird.
Yeah.
Because they had the Chinese were in a boat with 5 ducks.
Right.
Or a bird, and they were connected to a rope.
Yeah.
And they would throw them down, and then the bird will come back on the surface with a fish.
Yeah.
And then
swallow it
and dump it on him.
Yeah.
And then they'll do that.
They can't swallow it because they have the ring around their
neck.
Yeah,
they'll do that over and over. But then the bird, the duck will just stop going down unless you feed them.
Yeah, you got to give them.
So you give them a little reward.
Right.
But that's been around since 1780 something, bro.
Crazy.
Probably even before that. But when I was watching the Travel Channel, they still do it, dog. They still do it. And they have rice patties, bro. People don't know, but in California, we grow a lot of rice patties from China.
Well, we grow more rice than anybody. I think majority, I read this somewhere, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the majority of the world gets its rice from California. And when you go to the store and you buy sushi, all sushi rice comes from California. And I know all Japanese rice in America comes from California, but Calrose is California rose rice. That's where the Cal and Calrose rice comes from.
Yeah,
so
second largest
we're at 1 hour right now.
Second, huh?
Second largest in the state.
We're at 1
Yeah,
hour, just so you know.
101.
Okay, we keep going. We grow rice in California, not just for consumption. We grow it for Coors Light.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because it's rice beer? Coors Light is rice beer?
Yeah, look it up, Philip. When I did my show in Weed, California, the guy told me they do rice beer
Yeah.
for Coors, huh?
For Coors, and they swap it with corn for Bud Light.
No shit. No wonder it tastes like shit. Did you...
That's why I drink Coors Light with chopsticks.
That's very fancy. I wanted to touch on
it, bro.
one thing was fortune cookies. Fortune cookies. Where do you think fortune cookies come from?
I don't know.
Where did you think they came from before we?
I don't know. China.
China.
The first time I opened a fortune cookie, it read that it said, "Help me, I'm stuck at a fortune cookie factory."
I don't even remember.
The first time you had a fortune cookie?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Mine was at Chinatown at that area.
I fucking I've been eating
But I
Chinese
must
food
have
since
ate
I
the-
could remember. So,
But I ate the paper, bro, because I just didn't know.
did you really?
Yeah.
You just gobble that fucker
Yeah, I
down,
didn't
right?
know, bro. I was
I
hungry.
think fortune cookies are bomb, but fortune cookies originated in Japan, and they were a savory snack, and they were larger.
In Japan, not China.
In Japan, in I think the Kyoto region, if I'm not correct, and there's proof of it. So it was a larger, browner because it was made with sesame, and it had the paper was the fortune was not inside. It was like like the fucking moose knuckle of the fortune cookie. It was like jammed in there in like the pussy. So that's where it originated from. This one dude came from Japan, adopted the recipe, and turned it into regular flour with some vanilla and sugar, and was making them a snack. Okay, this is where it gets fucked up. And it was just a cookie. It was just a snack you bought, like a treat. It didn't go with any dishes, nothing. And this is and it's debated. San Francisco or Los Angeles. There was actually a real investigational debate over it, and I think San Francisco won, but they can't really figure out the origins of what city came first. But what they do know is that the Japanese owned both of those cookie companies, and when World War II came around and we started taking Japanese people and putting them in concentration camps, Chinese people started running their businesses. And so those businesses that were fortune cookies were taken over by Chinese businessmen, and the Chinese cookies were distributed to restaurants for Americans to eat after their meal as a snack. And that's why we have that's why we have fortune cookies now.
Who invented it? Who put the little note in there?
It was already done by the Japanese, but let's say this is the fortune cookie, and you know how the paper goes inside the fortune cookie like that? So you know that little knuckle in between, that little space in between the fortune cookie?
Yeah.
Like, throw up a fortune cookie real quick there if you can.
One time I opened up a fortune cookie and it said it wasn't chicken.
We can also talk about that too in a minute.
It says it started in Little Tokyo 20 years before San Francisco.
Okay.
Little Tokyo, Los Angeles?
Yeah.
What up, LA again for the win.
So no, there's debate about that. There's debate about
LA
that.
for the win,
Okay,
bro.
throw up
Don't
a large one picture of a fortune cookie for me. So you see the space in between?
Pac-Man.
Like see the crotch, like if it was standing?
Yeah.
That's where the paper was on the outside in there. Yeah, right there. Right there. That's where the paper
I can
was.
see how the paper could fit in there, bro.
Yeah. It was like
slide in.
they would make it a cylinder and then slide it in. If you want, look up Japanese fortune cookie. Maybe it'll show it.
How about the fortune cookies that hipsters make and try to sell, bro, with dipped in chocolate?
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I saw one dipped in green tea frosting, bro.
No, I'm good. Just fucking put it at the end. It's already what it is now.
How about those Chinese restaurant with hipster where they try to make a tortilla and they put fried rice in it, bro?
I'm okay with that. I've had Vietnamese food in a tortilla. So no Japanese fortune cookies, huh?
Nothing, just look the same.
Yeah, it looks. So, okay, see the big one? See, they're browner. They're more sesame style. And then you can see the paper in one of them right there, I think.
It's tucked in right there.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's so there you go. There's another thing. Also, you want to know about crab rangoons? Where they were invented?
Let's move back to history for foods on Chinatown and why there's Chinatown everywhere in a little Italy.
Yes, let's do that.
Back in 1906, there was a major earthquake in San Francisco that totally destroyed and ripped Chinatown into pieces. So then they hired an architecture who was not white, who was not Chinese, who was white, who'd never been to Chinatown, and he just saw a bunch of pictures and movies and decided to create what is now Chinatown in San Francisco out of it.
Like it's fucking Disneyland.
Yeah, bro. Without researching this, I would have just accepted it. But they made it like a theme park.
Right.
Like if Disneyland made it.
When I was a kid growing up, we'd go to Chinatown all the time, and I thought that's what China looked like. I was like, this has to be what China looks like.
I know, man. Like not when I. So what was the architect of San Francisco?
William Spear.
William Spear. Shout out to William Spear.
FDP.
And in Los Angeles, there was a woman who did also the one for Chinatown in Los Angeles, right? What's her name?
Christine Sterling.
Who was her? Who did she hang around with? Look at these big shots, bro.
She was hanging out with the Chandlers. They own all of LA, the LA Times, all that stuff.
Wow.
The Chandler Fremonts.
Fremont's, the Stockton family.
The Stockton family and
Wow.
the Fremont family. When you look at the Chinatown you saw in San Francisco, when you saw it in the movies, it just looks badass, huh?
Right. Looks.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Bro, when you go to Chinatown in San Francisco, it looks
You
fucking...
think you're China.
It's fucking rad, dude. It's one
It
of my
is.
favorite places to go in San Francisco.
Lisa and I, one time we got on that little trolley, and we took it all the way from the bottom, and we got off in Chinatown, bro.
Yeah, right up there at the top of Columbus.
And they had just finished popping fireworks. There was firework paper all over the place.
So it was like Chinese New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, man. I mean, it's rad. I honestly, it's fucked up that they did that. But again, I would really, man, if you're a Chinese person watching this, please let me know what you think about this and how you feel about this or what your family members think, because I'm really interested and I'll answer back in the comments as well, because I'm fascinated how Chinese people feel about this, because I know how Mexican people would feel about this. We'd be completely insulted.
Me, when I see Chinese food on television, I always immediately go get it.
Right.
Like the first time I ever saw Chinese food was on A Godfather.
Right.
This is after they shot Don Corleone, and they're all eating they're eating Chinese food, bro. And at that, man, these people are ahead of their time. Check it out. Look, smoking a cigarette after eating some egg foo young. This guy probably just finished slapping some. Look at they're eating with forks.
Oh yeah, look at Sonny before he
A
died.
beer with some noodles.
No, not a hint. Absolutely.
How fat are those boxes? I don't know about you, but anything in that box is delicious.
Can you look up
Christmas
Chinese-
Story.
Can you look up Chinese food? What's that futuristic movie with Harrison Ford? Blade Runner. Chinese food, Blade Runner. This makes me want to eat Chinese food.
That's a good one too, bro. It's like a squid, right?
I don't know what it is, but I think it's like a float. There's one also in Fifth Element as well.
But this one is good because it's steamy.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, look it up right there.
There it is.
That's a good one, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Make my mouth watery. By the way, that scene right there is copied in a lot of movies.
Blade Runner set up the all
worlds.
futuristic movies.
Futuristic
Dude,
world.
and like also, let's not forget Cyberpunk, one of the best video games ever.
It's in French. Right there.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there, but it makes me want to eat every time I watch this. Yes, look at that, bro. Look how Bond that looks, dude.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait till the future's like this.
I tell you, you're not gonna survive the apocalypse. Look up Chinese food in the movie Chungking Express.
Ooh.
It's just fast. People talking fast, bro, and they know what to order. You have wonton soup?
Yeah,
I never had
wonton
it.
Soup. I eat a lot of Chinese food, just period.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that's only eating fried rice, bro, or orange chicken.
Bro, I eat Chinese,
and
Japanese,
pork,
Thai
barbecue
food.
pork. I've never had duck.
Holly Mitchell is
I've never had duck.
Really? Oh, I don't like duck. I've never had duck. I've actually, it's not that I don't like duck. I've never had it. It looks fucking disgusting to eat. So and I know there's people love duck.
I had dim sum once, but I
Love
didn't know
dim
what I
sum.
was eating, and they told me that it was like snails. No, they told me it was like fish gut or
Not true.
no, but they cut it up, and I thought it was like fish liver.
Do they?
Yeah.
I've had dim sum. I've had is barbecue buns, pot stickers, stuff like that. Pork bun. I mean, I guess it could have that stuff in it, because that's the other thing, man. Is like I think a lot of like the wild shit that Chinese
found
people
it?
eat is
Yeah, there's a lot
somewhat
of scenes. I'm still trying to find it.
is part rumor, and part of it's not. Just so we go.
Okay, put the one from Lost Boys Chinese food.
One of the things that I'm gonna hate to see is people talking shit about these people eating dogs or whatever the fuck. This
But there was
does
a
happen.
time when there was a famine.
Yes.
And you told me there was.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell them.
So the reason why Chinese people eat a lot of different things.
The meat's not bad. I heard it tastes a little rough, according to a comedian.
Okay,
DJ.
Edwin San Juan. Let's switch up a few. Anyway, so there was a famine. I don't know how long it lasted, but a lot of these people that were born into this famine. So when the famine ended, famine happened. There was a Wildlife Protection Act that protected a lot of wildlife from being eaten in China. When the famine happened, they released the Wildlife Protection Act so people could survive. So people ate things that were out of the norm. And after the Wildlife Protection Act was reinstalled and the famine ended, people still kept eating those things. So, and I gotta say, man, I feel it's kind of racist when we shit on Asian people for eating different things, because it's like,
Mexicans ate dogs too. They
Bro.
pretty much wiped out the Chihuahua.
is that true?
True.
Okay. And like, honestly, man, the first time I ever saw anything that fucking blew my mind was a fucking popcorn machine full with cabeza. Like, with the eyeballs still in it and everything
Yum.
too, bro. And it's delicious.
Me too. Put lemon.
But we eat that, you know what I mean? So it's like, man, and you could get a disease from eating bad pork just as much as you could get it from a pangolin or a bat or whatever the fuck we thought we
You
got
eating
from
penguin
cook.
now?
No, I'm just saying, man. I just feel bad for Chinese when people talk shit about Chinese people eating like. All
I
these
know, man.
different
Like
animals.
the Mayans, or the Aztec warriors, all these foods. They were back in the days. They were eating a type of because the Chihuahua. It's a mixture of two dogs. It's a mixture of the Cholo dog, which is that dog that looks like it's like it's hairless. It's a Cholo.
Right.
And it was mixed.
Oh yeah, those things are fucking.
Yeah,
ugly.
and it was mixed with another dog that was a precursor of the Chihuahua, which was a
Right.
tiny little beefy little dog. And that dog right there, it got extinct because people were eating it, bro. But they mixed that with a Cholo and made a Chihuahua, and that when people
That's
were
the same dog they eat in China almost.
when they were eating that dog is extinct because people were eating them.
Right.
Because they were telling, oh, only eat 20 a day.
So also, just so you know too, if you guys are like, well, but it's different because fucking dogs are your pets and they have emotion and they show love. Pigs dream. And if anybody's ever owned a pig, they respond the same way a dog does. They know who their owners are. They show love. So I don't find a distinction other than cultural. So before you go in the comments and be a fucking shithead about it, think twice, please, because we're all human beings.
What's up, bro? You have fun?
Fuck
Learning?
yeah, dude. I would love to talk about this more. I wish we had more fucking time. Because honestly, there's more lessons socially to learn from Chinese fast food. Because again, I was under the notion that Chinese people were like, fuck that, that's not real Chinese food.
I never trusted no one who didn't like Chinese food.
But I feel like Chinese people are like, no, this is part of our heritage as well, and of course, Chinese food in China is completely, vastly different.
There's more Chinese restaurants than fast food restaurants, huh?
I don't know about that, but that probably is that. I wouldn't doubt that. But yeah, I think that Chinese food, American Chinese food, deserves as much respect as an authentic version of it. I mean, you got to look at Italian food. If you're not eating any fucking Italian food in this country that's the same as in Italy.
Dude, I bet you
Not one.
if we do a history of Italian American food,
Yeah.
the chicken parmesan showed up around the same time as the fucking orange chicken and the fucking
Probably.
yeah, Soul chicken, General Soul chicken.
General Tso's chicken.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they showed up around the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, if you think about that, that's exactly what
They have to compete with KFC.
the only reason why you like, and I, because I'm Mexican and I go back home and I eat Mexican food, or you go back to Mexico. But I'll be honest, if you go into the Yucatan Peninsula, they're not eating what we're fucking eating up here. They're not
They're
eating
mosquitoes, bro.
They're eating fucking iguanas and shit. They're having iguana soup down there. So, you
You
know,
want to eat some iguana, man? There's a restaurant out there on MacArthur Park.
one of the things that's not fair is that Mexican people get to compare Mexican food to right across the border. We're talking about people that were shipped here early times, no internet, fucking no cars, no fucking phones, and forced to remember recipes that they didn't know. So, I mean, and they're delicious. I don't give a fuck what you say, whether it's authentic or not, and boo on you. Fuck you. Chinese food is fucking bomb. American Chinese food is bomb.
Ni hao.
Ni hao,
History for fools. See you
motherfucker.
next week, man. American Revolution.
Oh, yeah. One more thing. Plugs?
Go ahead, bro. Plug. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to his show where at?
So I think this is coming out day before the show. So the 24th, Sky Vegan Cafe, San Francisco, South City, South San Francisco, Bay Area, California. Hey guys, I need you out there because it's the only way we're gonna keep this show going.
Keep it going, man.
So
Sky
come on out and say what
Vegan.
up,
If you have a layover, get off and go hang out at the comedy show.
and then I'll make sure you get back to the airport. I'll have Butch McLeod drive you.
And I'll be in Richland, Virginia, Funny Bone this week.
Yep.
History for fools.
Later.
Ni hao. For fools.
Later.
Ni hao.
Ni hao, motherfucker.